CEO of LashFX, and I'm really excited that we have Elle Wilson with us today, who is the founder and creator of TRUEBROW. And I've decided to bring her on to interview her so that you guys get to experience this amazing lady, along with getting some insight as to why Elle and I are partnering up. Hi, Elle.
Hey, Tammy, how you doing? Hey, everyone.
Good. How are you?
You know what? I am great. What can I say? Really good. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's great to be here, actually. I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. And for everyone, Elle lives in Greece right now. Who wouldn't want to do that?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But look, I actually have a winter jumper on, just so you all know. So it's not summer. It's not summer, and it's gorgeous though. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, Elle, I wanted to talk to you because I think it's important that the girls who are going to be watching this, and potentially even the boys, we'll say girls and boys, that they understand really who you are specifically, and also, why you created TRUEBROW, the process you went through, and why it's so important for everyone to know about TRUEBROW. So I'd like to start with asking you, what was your journey in creating TRUEBROW?
Yeah, thanks, Tammy. Wow, I guess you've always got to start at the beginning, don't you? And that's not that exciting, really, because it wasn't as if with TRUEBROW I was somehow, had this wild passion to learn how to preserve the integrity of the natural brow. It just wasn't like that for me. When I was a little girl, I used to watch my older sisters, who obviously were Greek, right? So we had big eyebrows, and they'd be sitting there tweezing out hair, and I'd pick up the tweezers as a little girl and try and pull out hair, and I'd be like screaming, and I was never going to do that, So I didn't actually touch my eyebrows until I went to beauty school, which is 38 years ago now. It's a long time. But I think for me, it was different how TRUEBROW came into the world. So it was more like some sort of it was kind of like a window in the universe was open, and I was just there, and I was ready to receive that original curriculum for the preservation and the integrity of the natural brow. So it was like a curriculum end to end that never existed in the world before. And we call it TRUEBROW now, but really when you look at that, you can take TRUEBROW away from it, to remove a layer and just look at it as the true curriculum. And see the word TRUEBROW, isn't that funny? It's always something that just like sort of clicks in all the time, doesn't it? But it's really the true curriculum, the original curriculum for the natural brow, which we never, ever have had on this planet. So, could you say, I would never say, would I say I was chosen? I don't know. I don't believe anything. I don't know about that. I think it was just a window in time. But I think what was exceptional about it was how much, because I knew where it was coming from. And I know you've read my book, so you know all about, the power shift and my transformation and whatever. And I was, in those days I was meditating 3-4 hours a day. My whole life was about turning right side up and, really looking at my purpose. What am I doing here? How am I relating to other human beings? And who am I? The big question.
Yeah.
And not everyone asked that question. I had to. I didn't have a choice. I really, really did. And I think because I was in such a deeply meaningful space, when that window opened and I asked the question, how do I make this brow beautiful? I was just given. I mean, even when I say that, my whole heart just like, I'm just like, oh, I'm like a puddle. I was just kind of given this information. And because I knew where it had come from, it didn't come from my mind. It wasn't about, rules and mapping and rulers and some new fad or trend. The depth of where it came from, I was in love with it, and it was the same place I would go to when I would meditate. It was the same place I would go to when I just would be really quiet, even if I wasn't meditating, but I was just really quiet and really still in my heart. And so I began, I love that part. We all have it. All of us have it. It's not just me, but I don't know, I just really was madly in love with it. And so I used to go there a lot. And So it took 11 years for me to keep listening. And I call it like deep listening, not just listening to your thoughts that are going through your mind, but it was deep listening. And it would just, a lot of people here would know about kinesiology, for example. It's a little bit like that. You know, it's that deeper listening where I just, the information would be downloaded, and I would just create these incredible brows. And at first I was kind of, I still am actually, you know that. I'm still like, oh my gosh, did I do that? You know, I'm still in awe. But that's how it started. So it wasn't like I went looking or I had this passion even for eyebrows. I like doing eyebrows. You know, we learn how to do them, and I did my best. I never really felt like I was amazing at them. And I always kind of thought, oh, you know, I think it's okay. I was always really careful not to ruin them. That was important.
Of course.
And I used to freak out about tinting them. I don't know if that ever happened to you. Oh, tinting was like one of my, I used to just think, I've created advanced tinting techniques that have completely changed tinting. But when I was 21 and I had to tint my first eyebrow, I was like having a panic attack, you know. So to be really honest, it's really beautiful to just admit that, you know, it wasn't as if I was asking for it. It was a given, but it was what I did with it after it was given to me, this whole curriculum, this system, this teaching, that really matters the most to me, because I never exploited it. I really have loved its purity, and it's, yeah. So that's kind of, you know, that's really the curriculum and the system and the end-to-end knowledge, which you know.
Yeah. So, you know, I think I have the privilege of knowing you a little bit better than anyone watching right now, right? So I know how you think, and I know passion for helping salon owners and individual estheticians or even beauty experts to become their best version of themselves as it relates to brows, right? That sums it up for me, for you. But I'd love to hear from you, you know, people watching who we're going to encourage to take a look at TRUEBROW for their salons and themselves and their business. In your words, why are you so passionate about helping salon owners?
I think because I don't think I'd ever create something that or you know, extend something out into the beauty industry that I didn't think would change the way a beauty professional, for example, thinks. I don't think I'd ever do anything that wouldn't ascend them to another level of differentiation. So for me, it's like, as a whole, the beauty industry, I love it. I love what we do. I think we are such important human beings in the life of women. And I'm going to just use the word women, but I don't mean just women. I mean across the board. But, you know, I'm not going to say women and men every time. And the word women has got men in it, so it's like women. So, you know, same thing.
I know we have pronouns, so
that's right. We'll just like throw that out there, and, you know, so men don't feel like we're excluding them. We're not doing that. So, you know, like for me, it's like there's always, after I went through my inner transformation and really an ascension internally, doesn't mean that I stay there all the time, right? It's really something to hold really deep, meaningful values and a purpose in your world. But for me, it's impossible not to offer something that is reaching into a human being in a way where it changes the way that person thinks. It changes the way that person, the lens in which that person actually sees not only the brow, because that's a fact with TRUEBROW, but sees their business, sees their life, sees their loved ones. Like everything is seen through a lens. So for me, it's like, I love the fact that TRUEBROW is at the highest standard of the beauty industry. It's like right there, right at the top, and it's saying to the rest of the industry that may not be there yet, come on, you know, you can do it, you can do it. So for the women that hear it, that really hear that call, and it resonates with them, they come to TRUEBROW with that question straight away. They don't even think about it. They just, that's what I want. I want to be at that level. I want to ascend above and beyond the average, the way an average person thinks. the way an average person sees the brow, the way an average person sees the world. I want that ascension. I want to rise above that, but not because something is less, but just because the other is so much more true.
Yeah.
So for me, what else, like I'm 58 years old, I could be sunning myself on the beach, but here I am helping women every day, see through a new lens. And it doesn't just stop at the brow, because True Brow, as you know, incorporates everything. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, and I think that's something to kind of summarize. So I found TRUEBROW because I'm a lash artist as well, and to me, the brows and the lashes just go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Because it's part of the face and it's part of how we enhance beauty. And I kind of took a slight detour at first down the microblading route, and then when I understood what it really does to the skin, it was a choice that I made to move away from microblading because I just didn't feel right about it. Now, it doesn't mean that people out there aren't feeling good about it. It just means for me personally, I didn't feel good about it. So I started looking for an alternative. And of course, when you're in school and things like that, they don't really teach brows as far as looking at the face and looking at the structure and then deciding what their best brow is. It's just a quick wax. And I think all of you girls watching right now will agree with that. So when I found TRUEBROW, what I was so impressed by is that the education was comprehensive. It was very comprehensive from a standpoint of not only teaching you the system around how to look at a brow differently, the execution of it, but then the feedback mechanism on the learning to make you better and better and better was stellar and is stellar. Now, the element that Elle brings to the table as the owner and creator is that she really does tackle you as an individual to bring you to a different level in your mindset and how you approach your business and your tasks at hand. So I think that kind of summarizes for me why I chose TRUEBROW and why I went through the training. But Elle, one of the things that I would love for you to kind of highlight in your words, because these are my words, right, is if you were to tell everyone why they need to sign up for your training program, talk a little bit about your approach on creating a wait list for them.
Yeah. I think I would say that no one can ever step into TRUEBROW until they start to reflect on what they actually really want.
Yeah.
That's the beginning, because in the beauty industry, we have habits, because over the years, the beauty industry is $1 billion industry, if not more. Sometimes I say it's $1 trillion, but anyway, billion will do. It's a lot, isn't it? And if you think about that, and you think about how many corporations, how many people are on it, really feeding off it, and it's a huge thing. So for me, I think it all comes down to whether you're going to do fads or trends, or you want that timeless solution, and you want to step out of struggle, and you want to step into something that has worked and built wait lists for hundreds of salon owners, if not more, then you've got to know what you want, and you've got to. It really is about you deciding. And a lot of the time, Tammy, we don't think about what we need.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go in a little deeper, actually, and not even say it's what you want, it's what you need. What is your core need? And a lot of the time, our core need is to work in a way which is really peaceful, really rewarding, and fulfilling. Now, when you think of your business like that, the way you make every single decision will be different. So then you immediately know that you need to find something that is constantly focusing on elevating you to a place where you are differentiated in the marketplace. So immediately you'd step away from fads and trends, right?
Yep.
They're the
And I
common.
think you just said that. Yeah, the differentiation in the marketplace is essential. It's really essential for any beauty expert out there to be successful in their own way.
Mhm.
And I think we tend to compare each other when that's the last thing you should do, right?
Oh, well, look, that's what we're only comparing when we're in fear and lack. And, one of the things that True Brow teaches you is you can't even look at a brow from the place of lack. We're always looking at the brow from the place of possibility. We learn how to use our imagination. We learn how to use vision. And these things feed into all areas of our lives. They don't only stay with the brow. All of a sudden, you're speaking differently. You're thinking differently. You don't even know why, but you're surrounded by a community of like-minded women that are powerhouses. They support each other. I always say there's no drama in True Brow. If you want drama, don't come. Like, you really have to be a fit for True Brow. You really need, like, why do we speak to people before we say yes? Right? It's not for everyone. And I don't want to take anyone's money. I don't need anyone's money. Like, I don't need to take their money. I want it to be perfect for them. But I think that you kind of know when your values are aligned with what I've been speaking about, there is no decision. The decision's already been made. It's then just the next steps. It's like, so what do I do now? And there's more to it. How do what is True Brow? You've got to take True Brow out of the equation in a way to understand what it is, because True Brow is the name. But what's behind True Brow is a world of knowledge about the natural brow. It's extraordinary. It's like it's never been here before. And because of the way it's been developed and the way we educate, and I have to go back to answer that, if that's okay. I just want to
Of course.
say, when we first started 12 years ago, and it was actually at that time that I knew, again, like from that really deep place, I remember once I had this real thought, because there's a difference between real thoughts and false thinking, right? That false thinking that makes you go mental in your head and you've just got thoughts spinning and those things. We all know what that's like. But a real thought expands you. A real thought is like, whew, it's like, and we've probably all had them, right? Sorry, you were going to say something.
No, I said it's a peaceful too when you're in that space.
Yeah. It's just like it's like it's surreal. It's like amazing when you have it, and you can't deny it. You can't deny what you hear. And I remember the day we were in a beautiful apartment in Victoria. New South Wales, right in front of the ocean. That's where we lived. And I was in the house, in the apartment, and I remember the thought just coming up out of the blue, saying it's time to train in brows. Now, remember, I'd worked with this system for 11 years and created an extraordinary salon and business, and I'd sold it and hadn't done brows for a couple of years and was doing other things. And I remember hearing it and thinking, what? Like, I did say that. That's the truth, even though I heard this beautiful, because to me, it was like, how am I going to take this creative process and put it in a manual? Like, I thought, but then after the what, it was like, okay. And so I turned to Toby and I said, oh, we're going to start training in brows. And he said, all right, okay. And our whole life changed. And we sat in this gorgeous little apartment, and we sat and we wrote this manual whilst looking over the ocean. And I wrote it, and I never thought I ever could, but I just kept going in, and I was just always answered. And it turned into this, it's actually behind me. I carry it everywhere. I take them everywhere with me. And it was amazing. But then after that, it developed so much. So it was kind of like the beginning for me. And then I going back to what I was about to say, after that happened, I thought, okay, well, how am I going to teach this? I said to Toby. And of course, Toby's the co-founder, for anyone, and my husband, for those of you that don't know. I've been working with him for over 14 years, and we're still happily married, believe it or not. Yes, it's true, it can happen. And so we did the normal beauty thing, the normal thing the beauty industry does. We did 2-day classes. But being who I am, I remember thinking, there's no way. I can't teach someone this in 2 days. And, the beauty industry is a little topsy-turvy in the way that it educates. You know, we do
I
that.
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
completely agree with that.
I couldn't bear it. And I said to Toby, I can't take these people or their money. I just can't take it because, you know, I'm giving them this much and they think that they've got something and they haven't got it. They've only just started. So then I had to turn it completely around. And in fact, I didn't do it. Toby did. I said to him, and he's got, you know, it's pretty clever. And I said to him, you know, I don't know what to do, but I'm not doing this anymore. I mean, I would just actually literally stopped. I thought, I'm not doing it. And then what we created was we developed educational programs to take a person from, you know, even if they knew nothing about brows, all the way through to mastering an art. And I mean, you know, you can go on TRUEBROW and you can look at some of the work that the girls do. I mean, you would know, Tammy, you know, what you're able to do in your salon, you know, the amount of repair work they're doing right now on brows that have been damaged and compromised by alternative brow treatments that are everywhere in the world, fads, trends that come and go, but women are sometimes, you know, distraught by what's on their faces. You know, they're embarrassed. So our girls are doing a lot of that. And we have developed an extensive program, but a fun program, you know, where people get to connect with everyone around the world. Our girls get to connect internationally with other people. They make friends with our communities all over the world. And so for me, I think it was that I loved them, I fell in love with, is that we just were innovators. We just said, no, we're not training like that. We're not taking people's money like that. We're going to do what is best for the beauty professional. And at the end of the day, what is best for the client, because then if it's the best for the client, the beauty professional is differentiated. Yeah.
And I think that's a really key point that you just made, because even when I train based on what's best for the client, not the cookie cutter training. And it applies to lashes as well, right? People will go in, they'll train lashes, and everyone will walk out doing the same thing. But you have to look at the person and go, how am I going to enhance this beauty, right?
Yeah.
And so, and brows are like that. And you know, we all who are estheticians see brows that have been overplucked, shaved because that was the trend, and damage has been done. And it is absolutely incredible what TRUEBROW, with patience, good communication, right? And asking the client to trust you, what can be accomplished with a natural brow. It's really impressive. But I think we as a society live in this quick fix mentality. So people will go to those quick fixes, and the alternative brow treatments are one way to do that. But really, for a lasting business for all of these gals and guys, is that it's about patience. It's about looking at the individual you're dealing with and doing what's best for them. And I think that's really what TRUEBROW does. It teaches you not only patience, but it teaches you the art of brows, but it also gives you that feedback loop to where you can continue your education ongoing. It's not just a one and done. That's just not how TRUEBROW works, right? And I think that's one of the key differentiators that you bring to the table with your education program than anything I've ever seen.
Thanks, Tammy. You know, it's not always what's the easiest, it's what's the best.
Yeah, right.
And that's a value that I hold about everything in my life, you know, because, you know, you can't be compromising yourself all the time. You know, these gorgeous girls in the beauty industry, you know, they come into the beauty industry and they step into what's normal. But what's normal doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way or it's the best. And, you know, for me, the girls that know that TRUEBROW it's in their bones already. It's like, oh, I'm being called to this. This is my thing. I'm going to do this because they know. Because it's almost like they've been waiting to find us. You know, it's kind of, oh, finally, you know, I know this is what I've been looking for. I hear this all the time, you know, and for me, it's not like, it's a lot of work. You know, it's much easier for me to just train or get my educators to train for 2 days and we're gone. and we have some group where we just do some feedback. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not being judgy. I'm just saying that doesn't work for me, you know, and it's not the way that I believe the beauty industry is going to reach the standards that it deserves to reach, so that it can be looked upon in a way where it's respected. And, you know, people are not going to influencers and celebrities and other people that don't have the education. You know, they're going to go there because we're not stepping up and we're not stepping in to our real powers. And that's another thing, really understanding and exploring your power as a woman.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And, you know, I think one of, well, I know, I don't think I know, but I know one of the reasons why Elle and I have decided to, you know, partner up is that there's a complement here. There's a complement from a brows to lashes component, but Elle and I both are so passionate about helping women become the best versions of themselves, and therefore it translates into their business life as well as their home life and everyone that they come into contact with. So, you know, I think that anyone watching this, absolutely, if you're looking to level up your salon, you need to look at TRUEBROW. And Elle, I would love for you to tell everyone how they can find you.
Oh.
And so that if they are interested, that they know where to go.
Yeah. Well, they can direct message you. They can go to truebrow.com. They can contact us through there. They can go to TRUEBROW and send us a message. We can even put something in the link and they can just click it, and maybe they can go somewhere and make a time. You know, we will figure that out, because I think what's really important is to consider deeply, you know, what you need. And it's not for everyone. It's not going to work out, the TRUEBROWs for everyone. This is what I love. You know, you know, yesterday I was chatting to this gorgeous girl and I said, I'm not here to convince you. In fact, I'm far too old to convince anyone of anything. You know, all I can do is support you and empower you to make a decision about what you truly need inside of you. And if you need to remove the majority of pain points in the business, you have to, whether it's TRUEBROW or it's some other service, you have to differentiate yourself to a point where you're right up there. And I love what you said before. There's, you know, about the the world with the quick fixes.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting. Do you ever remember there was a research, they did research with children, and they gave them a biscuit or something, or a lolly, and they said, I'm going to put it there and you can take it whenever you want, or something like that. I'm not going to get it perfectly right, let's be honest, but something like that. And the children that waited before they took the lolly, like there was something between there, you know, I can't remember it, actually ended up being more successful in their lives of the children, because this research, this study was, you know, decades long, than the children that took it straight away and ate it. And there's something to be said about that, you know, a quick fix, something that's quick. Where is it going to lead you? And you have to really deeply ask yourself, do I have a deep need for a peaceful, beautiful, rewarding, nourishing business that is just, through what I'm putting out and the energy I'm putting in, is just returning to me a brilliant life? You know, why can't you have that? Why do you even believe you can't have that? It's like crazy, right? And stop being so small. Like, stop considering yourself to be so small. And sometimes when you know inside of yourself, taking a chance to do something incredible, something that small part of you doesn't want to do, because it knows that it's going to change, right?
Yeah.
Kind of just step in and do it anyway, you know. And I think, you know, for me, I think the women that come to TRUEBROW, they know. And yeah, they really do. It's been lovely chatting to you. I haven't actually shared these things, like I haven't spoken about these things for so long. It's really beautiful to share TRUEBROW and just where it came from, and how we can step into that. You know, I want to use the word wisdom before we finish, Tammy. remember in the olden days, back then there was always the wise women.
Yeah.
We used wisdom so much more than just Instagram or Facebook. And we contemplated, we reflected on decisions, on education, on training. We took time.
Mm-hmm.
We did deep dives into, I know that I used to, and I really encourage that, even separate to TRUEBROW, because TRUEBROW is one thing, but, the value out of this interview really is like really everything that you do, like deep dive into it, research it. Don't listen to what other people are just saying, because you're not that other person, you're you. So reviews are great at times, but everyone's got different experiences. Someone might do something and absolutely it's terrible for them, and for you it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. So this is everything, because we're not talking about TRUEBROW right now. We're talking about the way you make educational decisions, about lashes, about your facial products and things like that. So it's really about a discernment and using your wisdom, because you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's really important. I'd love to see the beauty industry getting wiser and wiser all the time, and in that way more powerful and more uplifting to their clients. Yeah.
I agree. Well, Elle, this has been such a delight, and I hope everyone watching got a little bit of an insight on who Elle Wilson is. And I'm going to encourage you to direct message me or to check out her website and level up your environment by considering taking on the TRUEBROW training, because it is incredible. I'm here to tell you it's incredible. And I know my clients absolutely love what I've done with their brows. And I think you should take a look, if nothing else.
That's so
Elle,
sweet. Thanks, Tammy.
amazing.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back. You can invite me back again and we can have another chat.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
Hey?
Will do.
Awesome. Thanks so
Bye.
much. Bye for now.